20 facts about the Philippines. Number 1. The Philippines consists of more than 7,000 islands. The official count is 7,641, which makes it among the largest archipelagos on the planet. The most interesting part, though, is that most of those islands are unnamed on international maps. Locals might know their way around the island they grew up on, but outsider knowledge of most of the islands is pretty limited. Number 2. The Philippines is the only majority Christian nation in Asia. This is a consequence of 3 centuries of Spanish rule. The vast majority of Filipinos, about 86%, identify as Roman Catholic. Number 3. There are more than 170 languages spoken in the Philippines. More precisely, there are 175 languages, but 4 of those are tribal dialects that probably have no living speakers anymore. The official languages of the country are Filipino and English. Number 4. Karaoke has a rich and murderous history here. Filipino Roberto Del Rosario holds the patent for the karaoke machine, and karaoke is a popular nightlife activity among Filipinos. Given that drinking is often a major part of a karaoke night out, it's not surprising that violence in karaoke lounges can be a thing. Mysteriously though, there was a fairly recent unsolved stretch of murders related to the Frank Sinatra song My Way. In one bar in 2007, a 29-year-old was shot dead by the bar's security guard, who complained the man had been singing off-key and wouldn't stop. Number 5. Early human ancestors lived on the islands at least 700,000 years ago. In 2018, a dig site in Luzon's Kalinga province turned up stone tools and the fossils of butchered animals that date to around 709,000 years ago. Number 6. Boracay has some of the most gorgeous beaches on the planet. By the 1980s and 1990s, Boracay had become a top destination for the world's beach goers. But due to a combination of too much tourism and poor sewerage practices, the beach's pristine condition began to erode. Seven. English speakers should have no trouble getting around the Philippines. This is the 5th largest English-speaking nation in the world, behind the USA, India, Pakistan, and the United Kingdom. Number 8. The Philippines' biodiversity is some of the richest on the planet. With rainforests and long coastlines, the Philippines is considered biologically megadiverse. There are more than 1,000 vertebrate species on the land that include more than 100 unique mammals and 170 unique birds. Number 9. World War II was devastating for Filipinos. Roughly 1 million people died during the conflict. Number 10. The Battle of Leyte Gulf was the largest naval battle in the history of the world. This will give you some idea of how bad the fighting was in the Philippines during the World War II. At Leyte Gulf, Allied forces defeat the Japanese Empire in 1945. The battle covered around 100,000 square miles and involved about 200,000 combatants. Number 11. A significant portion of Filipinos work abroad. About 11% of the Philippines population works overseas, many as nurses. Consequently, remittances are important to many families still living in the country. In fact, money sent home from overseas workers surpasses foreign direct investment as a source of foreign currency in the Philippines. Number 13. Most Filipinos don't eat with chopsticks. Though people in most neighboring countries prefer chopsticks, eating using your hands is the norm in the Philippines. Number 14. Be ready to eat plenty of Shanghai spring rolls if you attend any kind of celebration in the Philippines. Filipino lumpia consists of a thin crepe pastry wrapped around fillings that can either be sweet or savory. Number 15. Filipinos love basketball. The country's professional league, the Philippines Basketball Association, is the second oldest in the world after North America's NBA. The island of Camiguin has more volcanoes than towns. The island, about 22 km long and 13 km wide, is home to 7 volcanoes and 5 towns. The white sand beaches there are gorgeous too, and the volcanoes haven't been active in decades. Number 17. The archipelago experiences about 20 earthquakes per day. This is due to the Philippines' location on the Pacific Ring of Fire. Most of the earthquakes are too small to even be felt, but unfortunately, the country experiences earthquakes with fatalities regularly as well. Number 18. The national bird of the Philippines is called the monkey-eating eagle. Locally, it's more commonly known as the Philippine eagle. This bird has a wingspan of around 2 meters and can weigh 8 kilograms. The monkey-eating eagle is critically endangered, and killing one will earn you 12 years in prison. Number 19. Another Filipino creature with a great name, the stink badger. Stink badgers are members of the skunk family. There are 2 species of stink badgers in the Philippines and Indonesia. All other species of the Mephitidae family live ranging from Canada to Central South America. Number 20. The longest snake in the world lives in the Philippines. It's called the reticulated phyton, and it can grow to be nearly 9 meters or 29 feet long.